like we're recording, so that's good. Today we begin our first project. Hopefully this is an exciting day. Let's move to our computer here really quick. Let's see, where is that going to come in? PC, input, output, PC. Okay, so let's change the camera angle. Alright, so did you get the email that I sent? That's the big question of the day. Good. Alright, so we got an email to you. The thing to do now is to go ahead and open up the email, and if you feel like you need to, print off the worksheet for the project, which is the bridge something or other. Okay, go ahead. Let's see, what is that thing called? The bridge guide is what it's called. The bridge guide. Did you get the email, Tyler?
Yep.
Excuse me. I'll wait for waiting for someone to get a computer really quick. Okay, we got the computer now, so let's take a look at this bridge guide. Starts off with just a title page, a bunch of pictures of bridges, and then it tells you what you will need, the supplies for each structure built. So what I've provided is a lot of these wood strips. I think there's about 100 of them in your pack, or a little bit fewer than that. They say 10 is standard, but I provided 100 because we're going to get more than one project. And then the basswood dowels, they say 10 are standard, but I provided, I think, 5 per kit. And so I have a few of those plastic connector strips. I think I maybe put in 10, I maybe put in 5, I don't know how many I put in, but not nearly. I don't have a lot of those. So dowels and the connector strips are kind of they're kind of the things that are going to limit you. You got plenty of the wood strips, but fewer of the dowels and the plastic strips. The thing I did not provide was steel wire or glue. I forgot the steel wire, and I didn't provide the glue on purpose because I was assuming that you had glue in a workshop there somewhere. But you might also have steel wire if you need the steel wire. Now, if you need steel wire for your project and you cannot get it, or some kind of wire or some kind of thing for your project and you cannot get it from your school or from somewhere for free, just send me a note as soon as you can, and I'll try to get you something as quickly as I can. But I think that you have enough materials to build a bridge. And so I'd like you to try to use the materials that you have and design it in such a way. Tools that you will need are something to cut the wood with, and it can be a pair of cutters, or you can also use a very small saw. They say that we should have power saws and power drills, and that's fine as well, but if you're going to use them at your school, you obey all the rules in your school and make sure the proper people are present. Don't cut any fingers off or drill a hole through your leg or something. So we have also a number 3 drill bit. That's the number 3 drill bit is just the right size for the dowels if you're going to use the dowels in some way in your project. Now, I recommend you not use everything in your kit to build a bridge. Don't just start building and use up all your materials, because we are building more than one thing in this class, and that kit, I hope, will last you through at least most of these projects. Page 3 talks about the engineering design process. Another representation, of course, again, it's a cycle in this case, starting with the design brief, investigation, research, generating solutions, choose your solution, and then modeling, prototyping, testing, and evaluating, and so on. So you go around and around and around the cycle. And this workbook is designed, this guide is designed to kind of step you through this process in a very simple way. It's not going to be greatly detailed, but it'll be detailed enough to give you an idea of what's going on. They also point you towards this program that you can go on to use at this website, bridgecontest.usma.edu, where you can design a bridge and you can test it before you construct it. I would recommend that you do that today. And the bridge that they show here is actually a very good type of bridge for this project. It's called a truss bridge, and it essentially uses short pieces of wood built together into triangles to maximize strength. It's a very good, very simple, very easy to build and easy to design bridge. And it's probably the one that I would recommend to you most. Now, of course, in this one they show that the bridge has lots of dowels in it. And that is one way to build a truss bridge. It's not the only way to build a truss bridge. Dowels can be used, but be aware, remember that you have a limited number of dowels. And so do not make the bridge too wide. Make it as skinny as you can so that you're using as few dowels as possible. But the truss bridge is a very good bridge or something similar to that. And of truss bridges, there are hundreds of different types of truss bridges, not just the one they show here and not just others that you might see. There are lots of others, lots and lots of different types of truss bridges. So here they start with step 1 in the design process, problem statement and design brief, right? They leave a space here for your design brief, right? And this is actually something that I filled in for you. Your design brief, you have 2 criteria to meet, 2 things that you're going to try to accomplish. You're going to have a bridge that will span an 18-inch gap. I think I said 2 feet before, but I decided on 18 inches. So an 18-inch gap between tables, and it must support a 2-pound load at the center without bending more than ½ an inch, without breaking. Okay? So, anyway. Those are the 2 things you're going to try to accomplish in this project. It shouldn't be too difficult, but you should go through the design process just the same. So investigation and research. This is again something that you will probably start doing today, maybe even get done today. You're going to go out. You're going to first of all, take a look at all your materials that you have, and you're going to look at different bridge designs. You can look at bridge designs online, look at pictures like this here, and you're going to look at designs that you think that you can build from your materials, right? You can also look at different designs that they have pictures of in this workbook. For example, here they have a bridge that is an arch bridge, but you can see that it uses a lot of the plastic strips, and we don't have a lot of those. So you're going to have to maybe not consider that design or consider an alternative to the design where you're using materials that you have. So you might make a little bit of an alteration to it, for example. Right here they have a nice thing for you to either discover on your own, or you can do the research right here and figure it out right now. Wood glue is extremely strong, but only if it's done day before at least. You want to give wood glue at least a day to completely cure. Once wood glue is completely cured, as long as it's glued together properly, you're not using too much or too little glue, it will actually hold together better than the wood itself. The wood will break before the glue joint will break. So wood and glue are a very good thing to use to build a bridge, as long as you glue it together and let it sit for an entire day to dry. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Here they go into step 3, which is the actual design process, where you're actually putting together designs, and so you can evaluate them later, decide which one you want to use. brainstorming is a big part of this. You want to go through and just say, what are the possible designs we could use? Go online, research it, look at these things, and just list as many as you can, right? Draw them out if you need to. Draw them out if you want to. Come up with as many different things as you can, but don't do it indefinitely. Set yourself a time limit of, say, 15 to 20 minutes at the most. You could even do 5 or 10 minutes. And just write down as many ideas as you can. And don't ever stop writing. Just write down idea after idea after idea. Don't stop to think about one of them. Just write down things. Draw pictures. Look at things online, whatever. Come up with as many ideas as you can so that you can decide which one you want to use. And then you will go through the process of drawing out some of these best ones. So in this they say repeat process is B to E for each of the 3 bridge designs you selected. They say to take 3 that are your best. So you're writing down all these ideas and then take your 3 best, and then you're going to draw out those 3 best designs, the 3 best ideas you had during the brainstorming process. By the end of today, you should probably be at least started in this process. I'm going to stop talking here in just a couple of minutes. But you should be started at least with this process. That means that you're going to need to have this thing printed off at least by today as well. So if you haven't printed off this bridge guide, find a way to print it off, because at the end of the bridge guide, they give you the sheets. Here's your alternative bridge design for the first one, alternative bridge design for the second one, and alternative bridge design for the third one. So it gives you 3 papers, 3 graph papers, to give a top view and a front view of your bridge, so that you have 2 dimensions of drawings ready for each of your 3 designs. So that's where you should be at least by today, is that you should at least be working on the generating alternative solutions. Then you're going to choose the best solution, and they have a section for that as well. Choosing the best solution, they're going through step by step how to choose the best solution. And they step you through every step of the process. You don't really have to figure anything out for yourself. You just follow their instructions. However, during these things, there are things for you to complete. There are the drawings to complete. There's also a design choice guide here, where you're going to write down different things about these designs and try to decide which one's going to be the best one for you to do. You're going to do some calculations, right? You're going to calculate the sizes of the wood that you're going to cut and the plastic that you're going to cut. So you have to do those calculations. You have to fill out all the paperwork that's at the end of this thing. And then they take you into actually building and assembling and then testing the bridge and so on and so forth. The objective of this project is not to build a bridge, believe it or not. The objective of this project is to complete the process of designing a bridge. We will hopefully also get to the point of building the bridge, but the objective is really to get the process of deciding on a good design, actually drawing out a good design, planning the design. The planning process is actually more important to this class than the actual building of it. So, make sure that you're doing every step. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to step you through the process. I'm not going to hold your hand through the process. I want you to go step yourself through the process and follow the instructions the best that you can. If you have questions, please talk to me, email me, call me, whatever you need to do. But I'm leaving it up to you. So, what this means is you should not be messing with your build kit, except to look at what you've got. You should not be getting parts out and starting things, starting hands-on stuff. We have a lot of work to do just getting ready. So, resources that you can use. Of course, there's that bridge contest website you can use, but you can also use Google. And there are plenty of resources out there on Google for how does a truss bridge work? What kind of truss bridges are there? How does a suspension bridge work? This bridge over here is a suspension bridge where you have cables hanging down from these plastic strips here that hold the bridge up. But it also has a truss design down here. So it has a truss design part and a suspension bridge part. And there are arch bridges and other things, and you're welcome to consider whatever designs you want to, but just realize that you are limited to your parts and supplies. What else can I think of that I need to mention before I let you loose on this? I will stay here in the room for this class period and also on Friday. We might extend this project out till next Monday or even maybe next Wednesday, depending on how long it seems to be taking us. But today I want you to at least get started on looking, on doing your research into your bridge designs and choosing your 3 bridges and starting that 3 design project where you're looking at 3 specific designs and trying to decide between them. So that was a lot to say. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing today? Okay, I expect you to spend this next hour working on this. For those of you who will watch this later, you should spend at least an hour working on this today, and probably another hour tomorrow, and maybe even a little bit more than an hour tomorrow, but at least an hour a day you should be working on this bridge project, either in class or out of class, and maybe even a little extra to get things done. By the time we meet again on Friday, you should have decided on which bridge you're going to build. And I want to know. So you'll essentially scan or email me the stuff that you've done up to that point, so that I can know that you've decided on a bridge that you're going to construct. So what point is that at? Let's see, that's that's problem number. You should probably be up to the end of, you should be done with step 4, choosing the best solution, right? So we should be to the end of step 4, where you're evaluating your alternative designs. And then you should be ready to start on step 5, which is creating the working model or building your prototype. So it should be at least through step 4 by Friday so that you can show me that stuff, turn that stuff in, and that will be graded by me, essentially. That will essentially be, let's see, the grading in this class, I'm trying to remember what we had for the grading. Let's take a look at the syllabus. I teach a lot of different courses, so I got to remember how much of a percentage this is of your grade. If we go to our syllabus here into the grading portion, we have this project reports worth 25% of your grade. So on Friday, you're going to turn in a project report that is going to be at least through step 4 on this, in this workbook, in this bridge guide. And I will grade that project report. I will grade it for the completeness of the work, for the quality of the work, and that's going to end up being worth as much as the homework is worth in this class. So it's like a homework assignment. Any questions about what we're expecting by Friday? What we're doing today? Okay, it is time to get started. I will be in the room in case you have any questions or concerns. Feel free to speak up if you feel like you're spending too much time on something. You probably shouldn't spend more than, like I said, more than 15 or 20 minutes on your brainstorming. You can spend another 15 or 20 minutes researching. So maybe 30 minutes on your researching, brainstorming your ideas before you get started on choosing your first 3 ideas that you're going to kind of sketch out and decide which one's the best. So off you go. Do you need me to print this off, or are you just going to work on your computer?
I think it might need to print it off.
Okay. Let's go print it off in the next room real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll have a question for you when you get back.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. What's your question?
I was wondering what you were expecting on the port.
You see? You'll turn in for part one, right? This is the problem statement. There's the problem. If you make any notes there, you'll probably want to turn that in. But in part three, in step 3 here, they're having you write down a bunch of ideas. So you're going to write down as many ideas as you can, right? So you're going to need a piece of paper and you write down as many ideas as you can on that paper. Use a bag of this or something else. But then you're going to choose what you think are the best 3 ideas, and you're going to draw them out. You're going to make a drawing, a detailed drawing of them, 3 ideas. You're going to go back to here and use these alternative bridge design sheets to draw those designs out, right?
Okay.
And then I'm going to grade them down here. So
That's a good thing. I was thinking of it while between classes. So I was looking at what materials we have, and I was thinking, what could I do with just that?
now, do you want a kit to look at the parts, just so you know what kind of parts are available to you? I will put one together for you here. Okay. So you should have a brainstorming worksheet. You should have a sheet of paper that you wrote all your brainstorming ideas down on there, at least one sheet of paper. And then you should have a sheet of paper that where you write down the 3 that you think are best and maybe some information why. And they talk about that process in there. But then really what you're turning in are these 3 drawings of these 3 best designs. All right?
All right.
So I suppose that I did include some wire in your kit. It's in the motor, it's motor wire, it's not actually steel wire, it's copper wire. And you're more than welcome to use the copper wire in your bridge if you want to. If you do, then you need to tell me that so I can send you some new motor wire when we do the motor project. But just so you know, there probably is some wire in your kit. It's just copper wire instead of steel wire.
And so these are foot-long pieces, or?
They're, I think, about 10 inches, maybe 11 inches. I don't know. I don't think they're exactly a foot, but they might be a foot. I don't know. Something you might want to measure. I'm going to continue recording this lecture just in case anybody have any questions. If you have questions, then we can make sure that our people who are watching this video on their own time get those questions on the video. So it could be fairly boring here for those of you who watch this on YouTube.
I think it's a little over a foot.
Could be.
It's not exactly the best ruler in the world. You know how many of the square ones are? A little hard to count.
About 80 or 100 or something like that, if I remember. Enough.
More than enough for that idea.
Yeah, you go right ahead. Have a good one.
Can it be any kind of bridge, or does it have to be a trestle bridge?
You can build whatever bridge you want. It just needs to fill the requirements. So,
2 feet long and has to support a load.
has to be 18 inches long and support a 2-pound load without bending 1.5 inch or breaking.
So 18 inches.
Shouldn't be terribly difficult to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shut down here and be done. Stop this recording.